Gall.
When? You're good.
Thank you.
I couldn't print that invoice, it wouldn't print that signature out, and Marcia said yours might, you can print that book out.
Yeah, celebrating the past birthday came to me.
Yes, apparently.
I was gonna.
Yep.
What time is it?
9:31.
Alrighty, I'm gonna call this meeting of the Young County Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show it's 9:30 a.m. All 5 members of the court are present. We are streaming, hopefully live on YouTube, and if you're watching and you'd like to make a comment, please feel free to call in on 940-221-2107. If you're able, please stand for our invocation and prayer. Commissioner Cresswell has the honors.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today just to ask you for your guidance in these proceedings. Dear Lord, help us to do what's best for this community and all assets. And dear Lord, we ask you to watch over this community as a whole, dear Lord. Dear Lord, we ask you to watch over these people that have lost loved ones here recently. And dear Lord, just be with their families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate that. We will move to item number 3. And when you win a state championship in Young County, you get to be acknowledged maybe every agenda going forward from now on. So let's acknowledge our state champion Newcastle Lady Cats basketball team. All right, we'll move to item number 4. Public comments. Is anyone here for a public comment? All right, we will move to the tax assessor collector's report, which is in the packet, I believe. See it in there? Oh, it's a handout. It's separate from the packet. So far this year, she's collected $409,368.77. This time last year, $417,365.02. We'd like to acknowledge the receipt of our hotel occupancy tax report for $9.70 for February from the cabin at Salt Fork Ranch. And then also just like to highlight that Thursday, April 18th is the week of the young child. And Timmy, do you have that on our Preserving the Courthouse lawn for that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Any other announcements?
Crawfish and Cannons is this coming weekend.
Crawfish and Cannons is this weekend. It's, I think, gonna be a big event. I hope I will be able to attend.
And then the following weekend will be Run for the Children in Whitedale.
Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. All right, we'll move to item number 5, which is to consider the county clerk meetings from the previous meeting, which was March 25th, 2024.
So
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley and a second from Commissioner Cresswell. Any changes to the minutes? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Move to item number 6, which is consider the treasurer's financial report and updates on securities pledge. Treasurer Mullen?
Okay, we're proceeding with our treasury report for our past months. We've completed September and October. On your October report, you'll notice that from Sierra Bank that we're adequately pledged on our deposits through that bank.
So, are we fully reconciled now through,
Well, just through October.
through October?
We're still having some issues with some problems with what's submitted not being what it's supposed to be, and working through it. Ann has been working more, so I did spend more money in her time than what y'all allocated, but we still need her. We're on November, and hoping that after this one, we're gonna rock along, but,
Good, well,
you know, we're
I'm
finding
fully
the
supportive
issues.
of
Yes.
using money to get this fixed.
See if some of these adjustments clear out that we're having to account for.
So if that's okay, then we'll use her some more. and-
Is anyone opposed to continuing to bring Ann Daly in on a part-time basis or a temporary basis to help us get kind of reconciled to kind of get through the pre-Kyle days? Okay. We're good to go. Let's keep going with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. She's really been a big help because she knows that payroll side, which
I've witnessed, they're in there working their tails off, so. All right, so do you have any questions on these packets that Kyle's given us? We will have to, yeah, we'll have to sign both of them.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a signature page, once you.
Okay. Do we have a motion to accept and approve the September and October treasurer's report? We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell, a second from Commissioner Rogers. Yes, let's add, yes, and add in the securities pledge report. You still make a motion? Will you still second? All right, so we have a motion from Cresswell, a second from Rogers. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Kyle. Let's get a vote. Okay, we'll move to item number 7, which is to consider the auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payable. Ms. Roberts?
I have a small run today. We did do a utility run the other day, like we can do in between, got those out of the way. So today's run, the total is $71,220.34. And out of the general fund is $54,674.34. And there really aren't any just real big ones that stand out, that, there's some fuel ones. Other than that, everything is just your inmate food, just your basic. I see we have a placement one for $7,900.
Okay.
Other than that, it's just basic.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to accept Ms. Roberts' report? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? We got one abstention.
I didn't mention that.
4-0 with Commissioner Wiley abstaining.
Also, we received a check, when we implemented the new copier lease agreement. There was some paperwork to fill out, Sherry stayed on top of it and got it sent back in. We got a rebate on the Rico copiers we got, and we received that this week for $6,360. So that'll help with, because we had to pay shipping on getting those others, so it kind of balances out.
Good, thank you so much. All right, we'll move to item number 8, which is consider the extensions agent.
Cheryl, you'll bring it in.
Oh, it's on the agenda a few down. Yeah. Consider the extension agent's March report, request reimbursement. Penny Barron, $592.13. Savannah Williams, $1,467.88. Do we have a motion to accept their request for reimbursement?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right. Item number 9, an update on the revised plan to film a scene for the television series Landman that will result in the temporary closure of Highway 16 between Graham and Loving. Is this what they call take 2?
Take 2, that's right. Thank you for having us back.
You bet.
So, we learned a lot last time, and we got very close, and so I think we know we have a better plan of what we're going to do this time. The biggest adjustment that we are going to have is we're asking to extend the road closure for a couple more days. So originally, we were going to shoot in several different pieces. We were going to shoot the aircraft landing, we were going to shoot the incident, and then we're going to shoot the crime scene, I guess, afterwards. And we're going to break them all up. Now we've learned that it's going to be more efficient for us to shoot all at one time. So as opposed to having to come and go and reset and start and stop, we're just going to try to do it all in one block. So our goal is to film the last weekend of April. Our dates that we're working with Zach and TxDOT would be a full road closure starting on the 25th of April, which is a Thursday, and then we would continue to keep that section of 16 closed until May 7th. And that would give us 4 full filming days with multiple prep days in between there. So I think that would give us the best chance to be successful. Now, because we learned last time with the weather and things like that, in our permit with TxDOT, we're requesting that if anything were to change, we could shift 1 week later. So it would just be either the 25th through the 7th, or we'd bump it the 2nd through the 16th.
Okay. And then Travis, have you been involved with these discussions with them?
Not recently, just
No,
the first time.
This is the first week. We just found out on Friday when we met with
I knew you were
Zach.
talking with Zach and
Yes, sir.
TxDOT.
Yes, sir, yeah. So the sheriff will talk maybe after
Okay,
this.
sounds good.
And then I think our goal is just to make sure that we have a peace officer presence whenever the road is closed.
Right.
I was kind of expecting them to announce that they had written me into the script. Apparently, we're still waiting for that.
When I talked to Zach last time, he said that they do want to make those one-ways on the loops around on the county roads. So,
Whose precinct is it now?
those
Yours?
are both of ours.
You're in Simbo?
They're talking about bringing one around this way and one around that way. That way it wasn't such a, we didn't have as much risk for a head-on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, but that's the last I talked to Zach on
It's definitely gonna be a 2-week inconvenience for everyone, but hopefully when it's all said and done, it'll be something that we're all proud of and create a little Young County buzz afterwards.
it. Well, I did get with Shannon, we can set them water tanks on her and fill them up. And then I got that transport ready to use.
Okay?
And then Scott said we could use his transport too.
Yeah, I'm still working on mine, but it'll be ready by then.
Okay.
Okay.
Good deal.
And we can assist with all that as well.
Okay. All right, do we have any questions or anything? All right.
Sound like a plan.
Yes, sir.
Where on 16 are you gonna close it? What section? The entire section from Graham to Loving, or?
No, sir, it's from,
So there's Shepherd and Oliver Lane, I believe, or the top part of the closure, and then underneath, it's right when the,
Turtle.
yeah,
Turtle, yeah.
right, exactly, Turtle Hole. So about 11 miles from here to kind of our scene on the road, up 16.
Will any of the county roads be affected except those that intersect at 16?
No, sir, just those.
Okay, thank you. All right, we move to item number 10, which is to discuss the March activity report for the jail and the sheriff's office. I think she does. I think Demi Moore's dying to do a little, the scene. You know what? I could do that.
At the rate you're going, they can have her pushing you in a wheelchair.
You know what? She could be my nurse. I'd get better quicker.
How much are you today? 76. We're up to like 82 once last week. Hardly to run. Yeah. A lot of it happens in these courts here recently.
Yeah, I kept Travis pretty busy on Wednesday.
Yeah.
About half the people ended up getting a night in jail.
Would you ever find that one that just took off?
For my trial?
Well, no, whenever the bondsman was sitting there,
And
they just left.
they just left, yeah. No, we didn't find out. All right.
Hey, Travis,
Yes.
yeah, inmates transported, Kitty said, Jerry, is that include Bell County, is that just our?
I include Bell County too. But it also pick up inmates, like, we went to Eagle Pass and then went to Laredo the same day, or two back.
So we haven't had anyone in our jail from Baylor County since September. Is that?
Probably not doing it. Either that or they're taking them to Archer. We're taking them to Mountain.
So has there been any news on the Bell County about when they're gonna finish their facility?
But even when they do, I think they're gonna be full anyway, which means they'll still be out of compliance.
Is that still for you a good relationship?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
And everybody here. Because just for the first 3 months of the year, that's what we told them. Dr.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Livestock complaints staying hanging in there. We, did a lot more on the civil process this last month than we did the month prior. Yeah, it's like, getting a few citations from that as well.
I'm about to give you some, papers for no-show jurors. We're about to give you some.
Today, when you come over, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
That's some problems I'm
Okay.
Anybody have any questions over the reports? Oh, absolutely not.
Have you identified at least any candidates to interview?
We're interviewing people. We're slowly, but we're getting some from the jail, which is good.
Well, that's, anyone, we have any questions on his reports? If not, while we've got the sheriff here, we can transition into his Senate Bill 22 plan. If you look in your packet, there's 2 plans in here. We can look at it together. The second plan is the one that the sheriff is recommending that we go with. And in talking to Cheryl and Kyle, the way they'd like to do that is to make those payments quarterly. So on the first pay period of a quarter, you would pay a fourth of the stipend. So we'd get a half year, obviously this year. That would result, but basically we wouldn't have to then reduce it next year. Since we're starting halfway through the year, we won't have to reduce it for next year. But it will give the sheriff, can I borrow that for just 1 second? So he'll have almost $180,000 to spend on equipment. But my preference is that we go ahead and pull the trigger on this and start making these payments, because we have to have it spent by September 30th, or we're gonna have to give it back. So he's basically on a year basis, the proposal is a $10,000 stipend for the chief deputy, a $7,000 stipend for investigators, CID. CID's the paper service, right? Those are the two investigators, that's right. And then $5,000 state stipends for deputies, training coordinators, and civil process deputies. $7,000 stipend for the jail administrator, $6,000 stipend for the assistant jail administrator, $5,000 stipend for the shift supervisor jailers and the work program deputies, $4,000 stipend for jailers, and then one new position, which would be a Senate Bill 22 deputy, and another new position, which would be a Senate Bill 22 jailer. Best case scenario, if we hired them today, we'd only use half of that. So using that as a guide, he'll have almost $180,000. And every day, those positions aren't filled, there's more money to spend. So that equipment number is a to be determined, but it's gonna be at least $180,000. And then Cheryl, the thought is that we would pay those the first of each quarter, right?
No, the first payroll, like, here's your quarter, the next quarter we have is June, the last month of each quarter, the first payroll.
So you're talking about September, the first payment in September.
First payroll in June, first payroll in September, to do what we do for this year. Now, next year, because see, this year, we didn't have the money in time to do
Right.
anything different.
So next year we'll be able to make 4 payments.
Yes.
And so that's why, if you'll notice that, like, the way I did this, because we only had a half year, in parentheses, that's the number of employees in that category, and so I gave it a half, because it's only for half a year. In the case for the investigator, we have 2 employees, I had to put it as half of it for 1, because we're only gonna get a half year. So next year, in theory, all these numbers up here will be doubled, so there'll be less money for equipment, and more money going to personnel. But,
And Kyle's he's gotta build all new pay types and payroll lines, because this money has to be kept separate from their regular salary money and everything. Yes.
so, unlike the attorney ones, the Senate Bill 22 sheriffs, how that money is spent goes through Commissioner's Court, so we'll need a motion to approve this so that we can get it, start building it in the system and get it paid June, right?
The first paycheck.
First
in
payment,
June.
first paycheck in June.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell, all in favor? Any opposed? All right.
We'd also like to pay the district attorney and county attorney the same way, on the same, so that way when we pull the reports for reporting, because you're gonna pick up with every penny of this, it will all, we can pull the reports and we have the FICA and we have the retirement on all the money.
So, just, that's gonna be this year, and then if we go with the same plan next year, that's what it would look like
So they have
next
their
year.
plans ready to go, or?
Yes. They were both presented.
With the exception of, we need to double that.
County attorney.
Change change your number down there, but
So
you can take that with you, just so you
A new
can
position.
keep reference, because I have it on my computer, I don't need it.
Qualifies, and then one person.
Need you to stay, we got one more thing to do with you. I think you're gonna be a part of this. All right, so let's move to item number 12, discuss and consider concerns with the fuel bidding. And I saw a letter on this, and I'll be completely honest, I don't really understand what's going on with it.
Well, I'll explain what happened.
Okay,
I called in to get fuel bids that morning. We've discussed about having a 3-hour wait time to get bids, so at the end of that 3 hours, I was coming back from, working up on the north side of the precinct. I went ahead and called Sherry and asked Sherry, did we get any bids? She said the only ones we've got are from Don Butane. And I said, okay, well, it's been nearly 4.5 hours, I'm gonna go ahead and call them and tell them to deliver. So at that point, I called them so I could go ahead and get fuel. I was out of red diesel. And, so I called, told them to deliver. I get back to the yard. Young County had not, butane or had not called in bids, but All-Star, but they had already delivered the fuel. And so I had to call Sherry real quick and say, hold on, I gotta stop Don's from delivering. And, so I called Don and told him I'm gonna have to cancel that order. They didn't even send a bid in until after they'd already delivered fuel.
sounds like a donation.
It did. I really thought about it. But, the deal of it was they said it was a mess up on their end. They got wrote on the wrong board, deliver instead of to send in the bids. But this is just a mess. I mean, these bids getting confused like that, it upset Don's Butane because they had a truck en route bringing fuel at that point. And they had to turn that truck around. He was nearly to the yard whenever I realized, hey, they've already delivered and hadn't even given us a bid yet. So then I had to call them and get a bid get them to send a bid to Sherry and get it straightened out because it was just a mess. Well, it upset Don's Butane that they had been told to deliver and then got turned around.
Well, they did it correctly.
Mm-hmm. And they wound up not getting the sale because somebody else didn't do it correctly. My deal of it is why can't we set up and just use somebody and get them to go ahead and just keep our tanks topped off?
Why can't we could bid it out, on a 6-month, we can have a 6-month process or a 1-year process? And bid it out that way?
But nobody's gonna bid it for a year.
Would they bid it for 6 months?
Fuel prices change too much?
We don't get bids on it anyway, so.
I mean, it's just a day-to-day price, but, I mean,
And it's a pain, and like I said, you shouldn't have to call back twice and ask for a bid because you don't have it, and
I mean, it doesn't take that long to just put in a bid.
If I forget to call for a department, I guess fuel doesn't get delivered one time.
especially at the SO, if we could set it up where somebody comes out and keeps those tanks.
Is it the commissioners' courts that have wanted that we bid this out?
Yeah, I mean, because.
I don't see.
I think
If you can
it
get
come down to
more
a
fuel.
conflict of interest at one point. I'm not real sure. I wasn't here in that time period when they started this.
State mandated that we bid those out.
But we don't get bids, so we should be able to do what we need to do to get fuel, because I don't want them running out, and I don't want mistakes like that happening. That's ridiculous.
And I had the opposite, we've had the opposite problem he had, we've ordered in the past, and did not get delivered.
And we can't, I mean, we can go without it, but it's gonna be costing the county more money.
Yeah, then they'll be using those credit cards.
Well, I
It's a
mean,
lot
don't,
more expensive.
I mean, when we got one of the, I'm not gonna mention names here, but one of them actually maintains, like if I need a pump changed out or whatever, I'm calling one, certain one. They already maintain my pump when I need pumps changed out and all that. They don't get the fuel bid all the time because they get underbid. But if I need something done to my fuel tanks or anything like that, I have to call them because the other one doesn't help maintain anything in that level.
But that's the same for us. And likewise with the other law enforcement agencies in the county, they're all set up automatic, with the other one that's not.
Okay, so y'all correct me, because I'm thinking about this wrong, but we're we're buying fuel, it's under our minimum requiring
It
to
is.
go out to bid.
The whole thing, when it's one vendor, it's per vendor, and we spend over
Do you want the,
50,000. But we went out for bids but didn't get any.
We do the same thing with tires, though, don't we? We go through
You
the
go
process
state
like that,
contract.
but we just buy tires where we need
Well,
them, don't we?
state contract on
Well, some of them do, and some of them don't, but if you need a tire and got a flat, you get a
Or
tire.
you need it.
so, is there anything we can do on this, or is it just, this is just,
I think we ought to give the sheriff, at least the sheriff's department, the opportunity to choose a vendor to just keep their tanks full, keep their equipment up. That way they don't have to call one to fix equipment and call another and have to get a bid delivered that doesn't show up. Just have a
do you see any
constant.
problem with that?
that. I mean, we went out for bids, we don't get bids, so,
Yeah.
If you take bids, other people than just inside the county, will get bids.
well, not to have them, have it delivered when you need it, and that's the
There's a
problem.
landowner in Young County that sells fuel in Springtown, and their tanks have monitors on them, and they'll come deliver fuel. It pings their office and tells them you need fuel, and they'll call it.
They didn't send a bid in when we asked for them. I think they should be able to use who they need to.
They keep my neighbors' tanks full because they know they're empty.
You wanna open that bid real quick?
Oh, yeah. Let's call timeout while we're thinking about this and move to item number 20, which is open sealed bids for 2007 Chevrolet pickup for precinct 2.
It's a dandy.
Is it a dandy?
I did receive, yeah, I don't know about the
Yeah,
bids, but I did receive one bid. It's from Dylan Grisham, for $2,500 for the pickup.
The only bid you got?
Yes, sir, that's the only bid I received, and we had it, you know, we had to rerun it.
We ran it for a month, 2
Yeah,
extra
because
weeks.
I forgot to put it in one time, so.
I would just make a motion to go ahead and sell it, it's rough. I don't think we're gonna get any more than that, we gave an extra truck for people to put bids in, and that's all we got, and let's just sell it. Close it, okay.
All right, so I'm sorry, I was looking for something. Did you make a motion to accept the bid and sell it? All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Shook. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Wiley. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Because I was gonna talk about that compressor.
Oh, sure.
Because we talked about it before, but I just want it clarified, and I haven't done anything on this, but, you know, we decided to go out for bids on the chiller, and we will open those on the 22nd of April. No, it's, is it? No, it's later.
28.
Anyway, we know that it's gonna be at least 6 months for anybody to get a new chiller, so that other compressor is still giving us problems. I noticed we got a bill the other day for them just coming out to reset that thing when it goes off, and it was like $700. The compressor is to replace that other compressor, and that would be 2. We've already replaced one, so then you still have 3 that aren't replaced. We replaced another one that's giving us trouble right now. It's $21,557.97.
The thing is,
So I don't remember, y'all talked about it, I'm not sure you ever voted to go ahead and replace that compressor, but if we don't, we're gonna have James Lane out here all summer, every time that thing throws a code.
Well, the thing is that 3 compressors will handle during the heat and summer. It'll back off 4 hours, take care of 4 hours.
Well, at least if we could get at least one more, I mean, and then if it's still throwing, we may have to go ahead and replace the other 2.
I bet you, if we get this other deal changed out, I bet you we get, find a market for the compressor, so somebody's out there will give us something for that unit.
Leave for the summer with two good ones, and at least the last two aren't growing cones yet. These others.
So is the idea to replace all four? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we should replace them.
Replace one?
We replaced one earlier in the year,
Last year.
and it's already gone up $3,000.
Yeah, it was 18.
It's for the whole chiller system.
Yeah.
And we were told at one point it'd be a year now. Depends on what bids we get in. We know it's gonna be at least 6 months,
Which would be
maybe a little bit
for
over.
the beginning of next year.
And that's what we plan on putting in the budget and replacing that whole chiller system next year.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do?
If we wanna go ahead and replace this, I need to call them to get this ordered. They can get this compressor pretty quickly, but I didn't have it in the minutes anywhere that y'all had approved it, and I wasn't gonna tell them.
All right, let's order.
I'll second that.
All right, so motion second, all in favor? Aye. All right, so we'll replace that. Okay, is there anything to do on the fuel?
Well, like he was talking about, his neighbor or that farmer up there has their equipment where they can see that they need fuel. It's the same process, but they're not getting bids. I mean, they're just getting fuel, when they need it. The sheriff's department, how long have y'all had to wait for fuel at times?
Because of who we asked for.
Well, if the people that actually own some of y'all's equipment out there, they usually on the spot, ain't they?
Yeah, I know, issues like that.
But they also work on all their stuff too.
Yeah, they work on all mine too.
So they maintain ours, they also service everybody else, and deliver everybody else, with other law enforcement, so they set up our lot line.
And after 3 hours, wait, and they have the bid. So that's why it stands right there.
Bigger thing y'all got up
Advise
there.
them if you wanna do something.
How big is that? 3,000?
We got 2 1,000s and 1 250.
And one is a diesel tank.
1,000 at least.
250s.
Y'all have any trouble with your, you don't have diesel, do y'all? Just have
No.
one. Do we have any trouble with your fuel tanks getting?
We got an elevator, we got a gravity. He's got the generator.
That is generator too. that's off of it.
Our unleaded tank needs to be replaced, because we get so much rust.
It's that biofuel that we're getting. I mean, it's hard to put enough additive in that to keep it clean.
Y'all keep these guys.
You need to get somebody.
It's
to
in
get
the
those
county.
tanks. They got a load yard.
Or have them set up to be filled every week.
Well, that's what we do.
Well, and that's why we
Well,
have,
the deal of it is, doesn't matter, I've had them bid it and then wait 2 days to deliver. And I still run out before you want me to do it whenever I got 3 pieces of equipment that take 100 gallons apiece. Well, that's easier said if I had a bigger fuel tank. I didn't even have a red diesel tank when I got in there. I put a 1,000-gallon one in there.
I didn't need it. Got 8,000 gallons.
Well, I didn't have that option for where I had mine set up at.
we have 2 fuel tanks and we can run out pretty quick.
Oh, we can too.
We alternate them, get them cycled out every week.
So that we don't have that issue.
I try to order it on Thursday, Fridays delivery, but if they don't show, I don't find out till I go back there and check the tanks myself. Sometimes it's not till Tuesday to realize that they didn't deliver. I call them and say, well, our delivery by that time, I gotta call again and bring you a bill out.
I'll wait on this one out here, it's 35.
Sometimes, but I don't have the facility for a transport load in my yard.
Give room.
I didn't have have nothing in there for red diesel when I took over. It was, they were running clear diesel in every piece of equipment in that yard.
Yeah, I was too.
Which was the dumbest thing I ever seen.
That's the way I was too. So I got 10 clear and 8 red. Other day, like transport.
Ours is set up in that, they've got a cement barrier, and unless I get tall tanks, I can't change it yet.
I think the big folks up from here.
Well, the red diesel tank paid for itself in a year, just getting a red diesel tank in the yard. But do they come up there, and if you have trouble with your pumps, do they ever work on your pumps, or do you call for that? You do it yourself?
You gotta have competitive competition. Key to everything. You gotta have a competitive bid. You can't just give to somebody and expect to get the low bid on everything.
Well, if you just sit there and have to wait and you need fuel, though, it's no fun.
Don't get in that situation.
Well,
If Steve,
we check them.
Probably. We don't.
I got two right now out there.
We don't check ours, and I'm not gonna have my guys get up there and start checking. They're busy doing other things besides maintenance on them tanks.
we got a grass fire, we consume a lot more than we forecast for. Sometimes we can't judge what consumption is.
About? Yes, sir?
I could give you a little history on fuel bills.
Someone want history on fuel bills? Where are we on discussing this? I missed kind of where we are.
I think the 3-hour thing was working if it would,
If they would all
they would do it,
participate.
if it would work. I mean, if it would,
But now, at this point, we only have one person that's gonna send in a bid, so we've lost any competition in
You don't think the other All-Star was gonna put in a bid, the fact that they came and filled it up?
it. Well, they finally did, after I called them and caught them on their mistake, but the problem of it is, now we've lost it, all the fuel completely, they're not gonna bid no more in that letter.
Well, that's what they said in the letter, but
So if they don't bid, we've lost all the competition in it anyway.
So then I get to just choose who I want.
I mean, we've lost the competition to it at this point.
We gotta have competition.
Well, if we have nobody participate and compete, then there is no competition.
You're gonna have to widen your area.
Well, we didn't get bids at the first of the year from anybody else, so.
how do we notify
won't allow
people?
nobody, we've got a policy not to allow anybody to bid outside the county. That was passed on to us, by 4-1 vote. Probably. We need somebody that's accountable for us.
When did that happen?
Law enforcement entities that we, when I first started.
Oh, so like years ago?
What were you saying, Moody?
Was that, I don't
As
know.
far as the law enforcement aspect of it, needs to be dependable and reliable.
In a perfect world, we'd like to, but I get where you know, competition.
It's kind of important. You're gonna have to, you got Jack Earl, bring down this call. You got to have competition.
I can do some more research on it, with some other auditors and see if I can take away people discuss it next.
That's probably, shall we table this and get some more information on options on how we can move forward? Because obviously it's a problem if we can't get fuel.
And if we're having a problem, other counties have it.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, with nobody bid, if they don't bid, And they've asked for to either pick their equipment up, or we're gonna have to buy the equipment at the sheriff's office. So we need to figure out something pretty quick.
And I'm working on pricing and all that stuff too, so.
I stuck my tanks April first, I'm gonna need fuel here pretty quick. Can you stipulate your date of delivery, your time of delivery when you make the bid?
Well, we were trying to stipulate that, well, we were getting bids from one of them immediately, always have, and the other one, we may not get a bid till the next day. Well, with fuel prices fluctuating daily, that's when we tried to give them, hey, let's do a time limit of 3 hours.
Right.
And that's what got us in this, because we waited the time limit, didn't get a bid from one of them.
Right.
And so we called the other one, told them, go ahead and deliver, because we didn't get the bid. And then they'd already delivered it without ever sending in a bid.
Right.
So.
I know that this, one of the issues is not getting it on a timely basis, but when you make your bid, you say, I want a bid for delivery on the next day.
We need it that day.
I typically do Thursday for the Friday delivery. Sometimes I can't get it done Thursday morning, and I'll be till after.
Well, that's not,
Friday get the bids,
that's not, I mean, that's outside of the request, you know, so, you could refuse it actually.
I mean, and there's nowhere it says we have to take the lowest bid anyway,
On anything.
on anything.
but that's not always the best way.
I mean, I've had to put All-Star, let's just say, All-Star's won my bid a bunch here lately. And I got to have some bacteria problems in my fuel tank on my clear diesel, so I had to treat it.
But what they did on delivery was really extreme.
Yeah, what they did on delivery made,
Delivery without approval.
right. So it upset the competition and took the competition away.
Well, yeah, that's a underhanded in a way. I mean, it might be a mistake.
I mean, the only other option I had at that point was to have them tell them, no, y'all didn't bid, come suck your fuel back out. Which, maybe that's what I should have done that day.
I still think we could take bids, but then use the one, like you said, that gets there and takes care of the equipment. It's still a bidding process. We still gotta use the one that gets the job done, though, time.
We're just gonna have to, I think we're gonna change our policy, take bids outside of the county, get competition.
If we can rely on that.
How much is
That's the problem.
transporting them in the price? So if you're bringing it from Dallas, it seems like the pricing will be real competitive.
Part of their bid.
And if I call out for fuel from Dallas today, I bet you don't get
I
that.
bet you don't get the next week.
Yeah. Well, where do you think fuel comes from?
Some of it comes out of Oklahoma, some of it comes out of Odessa.
They don't go to Odessa and Oklahoma, pick it up before they bring it to me.
No.
What's that?
They don't go all them places to pick it up before they bring it to me that morning.
But it started there. and it
Well, I understand that. I mean, I'm not
Figured in that though.
But what my issues are is whenever we do call and it takes forever to get anybody over there.
Right.
And like I said, I'm not gonna have people go and stick tanks all the time, see where we're at. We have gauges on there, we can monitor it pretty well, you know, and even if that's why we have two tanks. When one's empty, we start on the other one. And that one gets low, and we start calling and get them filled up.
We make them stick both tanks anyway.
And if
Whatever
there's,
shows before
and if
and
there's
after.
times when the storm's coming in, you know, like a winter storm or whatever, I know there's some people around here that will come and fill ours up.
How long does your tanks last on average?
About 2 loads a year, 2 transport loads a
We
year.
do that
I didn't know if he was getting the bacteria issues with that big a tank or not. Do you treat the bacteria yet? You would be.
Never have, but for the most part, we can train a tank on wood.
Did we decide anything? Nope. So we're just gonna table it and get some more information from the back. Is that the consensus?
We got a 10:05 public hearing.
Yeah, that's what I forgot to put the stuff in the packet. And then we were printing out what we needed, and then the copier broke. So she's now at the clerk's office, taking your copier over real quick. So,
Well, we're not gonna be able to take bids outside the county till next year anyway, so why don't we, this year, we keep doing it like we have been, the 3-hour rule, and make sure the other place knows that if they do that again, we'll cut them completely out.
So somebody who's been there, same problem today. But you don't
how would you,
take them
what would
over
your
to
recommended policy be?
Take bids out of the county, outside of the county. With competition.
How do we, when we do bids, Cheryl, what's the process?
They usually call for the bids, and then they're supposed to send them to my office, Sherry.
And when you say call for bid, what does that mean? We
They
call,
call the two distributors.
He'll call for us, All-Star and Don's.
And then
And
they
he'll
s-
let them know, they'll call Cheryl.
so to Stacy's point, why would we limit ourselves to just the two in county?
I don't know why they limited themselves in the past to it, because like he said, it's county policy that we can't order outside the county.
The reason behind that policy was because they wanted to keep the money within the county.
Yeah.
Sure.
But now, this is All-Star.
Yeah.
All-Star is not based in this county.
Are they not?
So we got to call, if we got 10 people from all over the state of Texas that want to do bids, we got to call 10 different places and get a bid that way, and then we're gonna wait for all that?
It's gotta be
I
better.
ain't doing
Not
that.
gonna have
What?
That's the way we do it now.
We have enough trouble just getting these two as it is.
If they were gonna offer to do bids, how are you not gonna call them?
Right.
You know who's local.
I think we need to investigate and
Let's
see
see
our
what-
options. There has to be a better way.
There's gotta be a better option than just having to call to get bids.
Why don't we table that, let's come back to it next time and see if we can come up with some ideas. Okay, we're supposed to have a public hearing on the renewal, reaffirmation, and ratification of our guidelines and criteria for the eligibility to participate in tax abatements. I have Cindy trying to make some copies for us, so let's just call timeout on that for just a second. And we can move to item number 13, which is discuss and consider the payment to man-made construction, draw number 4 for the Young County Annex, $127,668. I'm a little rattled now.
Do you need us for anything else?
No, we don't, again. Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good day.
So this is draw number 4. Jimmy was updating me. It looks like the annex might be completed early June, possibly the end of May. I mean, it's moving ahead of schedule. It's gonna be really nice. Do we have a motion to approve the invoice for $127,668? Motion from Wiley, second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-1. Thank you, Timmy. That's been signed. All right. Here's a copy for you guys. Copy for you guys. Copy for you. copy for anybody who wants a copy. So, it is now 10:25, and we'll hold the public hearing regarding our tax abatement guidelines and criteria for Young County. 2 years ago-ish, when the Plug Power tax abatement came up, Commissioners Court came up with a policy for kind of how we were going to think about tax abatements, what the process is to enter into a tax abatement. And that policy, per our policy, needed to be renewed and revisited every 2 years. We did not do that, but we're going to rectify that today. Are there any, I have, Bob Bass has gone over it. I showed y'all, or I emailed all of y'all the red lines that he had on it a while back, but they were small. There were a couple of typos. There was just a couple of kind of small changes, nothing that materially changed anything in the guideline. So the question, I guess one question is, do we want to have a tax abatement, criteria for Young County? I guess we have another public hearing coming up to revise the Plug Power agreement, so we'll get to talk more about that then. I think they're fairly easy. I think it's written well. I think it's fairly easy to understand. To me, it made a lot of sense. I didn't participate in everything that y'all participated in 2 years ago. But I'm supportive of renewing, reaffirming, and ratifying these guidelines.
Well, to ask a question.
Would you like to make a comment?
I'd like to ask a question.
Please.
Is this strictly relevant to the hydrogen plant? Is it
No.
delay?
This is just the policy for the county and what, we have another public hearing in May to talk about the Plug Power agreement specifically. But this is just for the county guidelines. Would anyone like to make a motion to renew, reaffirm, and ratify these guidelines with the small changes made? We have a motion, or is there any more comments from the public regarding this? Okay, so we have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Rogers. Any discussion or concerns? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So these will be good for another 2 years. And we'll need, everyone needs to help us remember that every 2 years we need to revisit these to make sure that we're keeping them current and keeping them updated. And we'll have a hearing in a couple weeks to discuss Plug Power specifically. And they're supposed to be here for that.
Good.
So I thought they were gonna be here for this one, to be honest, but,
So on this one here, we can spend up, just to have it re-looked at, the limitations is $25,000 in attorney fees, no matter what we do, right? To revisit these and have them looked at, that's the most we can spend to have them looked at.
I don't understand what you're asking.
Attorney fees may be incurred by Young County in the examination of the applications as well as permutations and negotiations of any agreement. Such fees reimbursements shall not exceed $25,000. So if we had to hire an attorney, we wouldn't be able to spend over $25,000 for any of them by these.
Well, Yeah, they're on the hook to reimburse us up to $25,000. Now, I think it's just like anything, if it ends up to be, looks like it's gonna be more than that, then you basically can deny their application and then you get them to agree to pay more if it's gonna be more complicated than that.
Okay.
I think, you know,
I just seen that in there and I was just curious how that was gonna limit us.
yeah,
It's customary that we make those fines or they pay our.
yes. Okay, we'll move to item number 14, discuss and consider the Young County Historical Commission's second grant reimbursement. Ms. Smith? So, we did get reimbursed on the first one, correct? That's great news.
So, in 2022, the Young County Commission, Historical Commission, with approval by the Commissioners Court, applied for a Texas Preservation Trust Fund grant to do a historical survey of the 1921 jail, just so that everybody could get an unbiased opinion about the structure itself. So we were awarded the grant in 2023, and we sent out the first check to Komatsu Architecture for $24,000. We were reimbursed by the state for $12,000, and so this is the final reimbursement request. We sent out $5,600 check, I believe it was on January 31st, and it was cashed, and so now we're just asking the state for this final $2,800 to go back into the Historical Commission's bank account. And here is the final report that Komatsu Architecture has presented to the state. They sent a copy for you to have for your records.
Okay. Is this the same one that I had, that went, like I got a PDF of a while back?
It probably is.
Okay.
They went further, and there's also the original drawings that you requested.
Okay.
The drawings that we had, I believe, are from 1976, when they looked at adding on to that building instead of building the new law enforcement center. And there's some odd things that aren't really there in the jail that are in those drawings, and so they did more accurate drawings as part of your request.
Is this a copy to keep
you.
here?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Well, the maps, I mean, the building plats will be interesting to have.
So we need to make a motion on.
Well, we're gonna, because we have to apply for this reimbursement grant, correct?
Right. And so it's just like what we did in December. You just, if you will vote and approve for Judge Graham to sign the reimbursement request, I will submit all this to the state, and I think they have, what, a 30 to 45 day turnaround time, and they'll send a check.
If we're lucky.
So.
They never go as fast as you want. All right, so do we have a motion to apply for the second grant reimbursement?
So moved.
Motion from Cresswell, do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Shook, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Do you have something for me to sign on this?
I sent an original, you should have this in
I
the
have
packet.
I have this in my packet,
Right.
so we need to, you know what? Do you send this in? I can't remember how
I
this.
sent it in.
If you want to separate it, I can go ahead and sign that, and then you can use that to send in. Tim, can you give me a schedule remover?
I got a few more. Yeah, I'll submit it, and then they'll let us know. The first one we had to actually resubmit because I had a date that needed to be revised. So.
That's it. Oh, you know what? We have it separated already.
Wonderful.
You don't need this? I don't need it anymore, thank you.
Anyone need to come pick up the original from you or what? Okay.
Perfect. Thanks. All right, now we're right there. Item number 15, discuss and consider. Okay. Item number 15, discuss and consider resolution number 108, fiscal year 2024. Resolution of the County of Young, Texas, supporting the Texas Department of Transportation's development of a project to construct a new bridge over the Clear Fork of the Brazos River on Hot Wells Road. Hopefully y'all will remember Zach Houston coming in with TxDOT to talk about how that bridge, the Hot Wells Road Bridge, is failing, and there's concerns about its continued safety for transportation across, and they want to build us a new bridge, which will obviously have a matching component to us. And so he and I came up with this resolution, that he needed a resolution from us to submit to TxDOT so that they can try to get it on their calendar moving forward. And the resolution says, resolution number 108, a resolution of the County of Young, Texas, supporting the Texas Department of Transportation's development of a project to construct a new bridge over the Clear Fork of the Brazos River on Hot Wells Road. Whereas the existing bridge is narrow, load posted, dangerous, and insufficient for the passenger and commercial vehicles that need to access their properties using this crossing. And whereas the traffic has significantly increased on Hot Wells Road due to TxDOT's closing replacement of other bridges on FM 701 and FM 1974. And whereas the Young County Commissioners Court declared this bridge project to be the highest priority bridge replacement in Young County, and whereas the Young County Commissioners Court is prepared to meet any requirements or commitments necessary under the TxDOT FHWA Highway Bridge Program. Now therefore be it resolved that the Young County Commissioners Court supports the Texas Department of Transportation's development of a project to construct a new bridge over the Clear Fork of the Brazos River on Hot Wells Road. So Zach basically needs this to get this put on TxDOT's schedule. How quickly this will actually happen, who knows? But we need to continue to be working on our matching. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns over this?
We've already turned in quite a bit of matching funds already.
Yeah. Well then, if that's the case, I'll entertain a motion to accept resolution 108.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion from Commissioner Schiff and a second from Commissioner Wiley. All in favor? Any opposed? Oh, you did? Wonderful. Thank you. We could get that signed, please. This leg is killing me.
Let me step on your husband.
I tell you, getting old. Thanks, Susan. All right, while you are signing that, I'd like to move to item number 16, which is acknowledge the deputation and oath of office for Melissa Dunson for Deputy County Clerk. Ann was able to steal her away from the district clerk's office, and so far, I mean, she's been a perfect model employee. We're really glad to have her here on the second floor.
So move.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yeah, it's a bond. But that falls under, she has a blanket bond for her employees, so her name will be added, and she'll fall into that blanket bond you had.
Yeah, I don't
So there
think-
won't be a separate bond.
I don't think we need to have a motion on that. It's really just acknowledging that
Your agenda says 2 districts, or 4, no, you're right, 4 deputy county clerk.
Item number 17, discuss and consider an application permit to cross the county road to construct pipeline or utility for Upper Tonk Valley Road from the Fort Belknap Water Supply Corporation. This is Mr. Shook's item.
Yeah, just make a motion, we accept this permit, just a simple cross road for a water meter.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll say.
Second from Commissioner Rogers. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, we'll move to, what's this? Oh, there we go. All right, we'll move to item number 18, discuss and consider refinancing of the 2021 Caterpillar Motor Grader for 5 years through Stuart Cobb with First National Bank. This is also Commissioner Shook.
Yeah, we have a good low-hour machine that we want to hang on to, and it came up for renewal, so we just want to keep that and refinance it.
All right, so Commissioner Shook has made a motion that we refinance the motor grader. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Wiley. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 19, discuss and consider an application permit to install an entry culvert in County Road right-of-way ditch line on Industrial Boulevard. This is Commissioner Cresswell's item.
There was kind of a new yard intact there that didn't have an entryway, and so they have to have a culvert installed to put in so that they can get in and out. So we'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve this permit.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell and a second from Commissioner Shook. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, if we, at 11 o'clock, TAC is supposed to be here. Are we still expecting them?
Yes, as far as I know, they were in Eastland County before us.
Okay. So let's move down to discuss burn restrictions.
I'm sorry. Oh.
It's raining this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there, did I miss a story?
Oh, yeah.
No fire up down there. So I think we're good on burning.
No action?
No action on that. Just I think we need to limit certain people on the burning.
You? All right, we'll go no action. We'll take a 15-minute recess. We have TAC come in to make a special presentation, but they were going around and we were kind of at the end of their list. So if we could reassemble in 15 minutes, I'd appreciate it. I'm gonna go see if I can get my MRI.
Sorry, I didn't know, but one thing, your crutches are too short.
Are they too short?
Yeah, because I was on crutches one time, they should hit you right here.
Well, let's see where they hit me. These are my sons. He is short.
Yeah, too short.
Too short? So they need to be like,
Yeah.
Will they get any taller?
yeah.
Well, then they'll taller.
Are your arms okay with?
I think you have to go get a wheelchair. Handicard.
Yeah.
I would make a motion that we get him a wheelchair and somebody to push him up and down.
I was thinking Demi Moore could do it if we.
You can get one of those things Harley does, the little scooter that.
Are your knees too?
I know.
Riding one with the
And a
motor.
first alert necklace so he can hold it. I'm falling, I can't get up.
Guys, where's your,
Yeah. Well, at least we're just picking on him.
Try it up against you and see if that.
I'm gonna make a trip.
That's a really nice one.
Look you there.
look at it.
You think that's not supposed to be? Look, it's like right in with this. Are they supposed to be that high?
Show you.
Yeah.
It's got 6 pounds forward.
I mean, it's supposed to be right up against you right here, not really up in, are they up in
They're
here?
right up in.
Are you bending over?
No.
Come back one farther than that.
No.
It looked like it, didn't it?
So maybe go down an inch?
How many, did you move it up two?
Yeah.
I would lower it one home. I just know, 'cause I had bruises when I was on, because they were too long, and I had to protect you.
I need it.
They're comfortable, everybody be riding them.
That's right.
That look better?
Feel that and see how it works. Ooh, I'll race you now.
Yeah, that actually does work better.
Good. Hope you get it.
Watch out for area roads,
If you don't mind.
Yeah, I will.
I have.
I had one take off with me.
The road?
Yes,
No,
I had to get back up.
I prefer a cashier's check or a check.
What's the deal? What's the deal? What you get up so slow for?
Oh, my ribs. I got, here walked by, I was sick, I got coughing real bad. I did something to my ribs. And I went on for a month, I couldn't hardly move.
Yeah. Might separate one.
Well, I had a sneezing fit Monday and done it again. And Friday, I went home Friday, I couldn't move. I was having muscle spasms underneath it. But she hauled me to the ER that night. I've got some kind of inflammation in between my ribs. He said it's like having broken ribs.
I went at the ER twice, Saturday and Sunday.
Really?
On that thing, kidney stone.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you what.
I
That
heard
kind of
that.
thing go out there and worth a flip.
He was checking me for that. When I was laying on that bed, I've been hurting down here, and I told him I was hurting. Well, he got up here and he pushed real hard. And I come up best I could. I squealed like a gut-shot Indian. I said, down here is where it's hurting. And he said, I know. He said, up here will kill you though. Down here won't. Coughing, sneezing, laughing, talking, moving, getting up and down. Oh, yeah. Old feet.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
Oh.
That's better being bucked off though.
That hurts all over. If I got bucked off right now, I'd be the same shit.
I seen your dad taking your grandmother back on this morning. Had her loaded up.
95 years old.
Just a dumbass. Just changing a light
His
bulb
brother's not
in
dead.
my kid's room,
He stays out.
and I lost my balance.
New Mexico all.
And I fell, it was one of those little ladders, like the 3-step ladders, and I was gonna
He's a
fall,
soldier
kind of
for a
fall
great guy.
on it, and so I
He's a
spread my
good-
legs so the ladder would end up in between them and my knee buckled.
Is it in your knee or is it your ankle?
It's my knee.
Oh. Oh.
Chase,
You
he's
see,
an
it's swollen.
operator for the same company. He got licensed. He's a crane operator.
Got swollen my right knee.
It's huge.
He
Is
don't
it
Yeah.
sore?
feel it. He's tight.
Oh yeah, I can't put any weight
And you
on
can't
it.
straighten it or anything?
No, that's as far as I can get it.
He crippled you now.
Yeah, this is the one I've had it operated on numerous times.
Okay.
This is the one I heard in high school.
Playing basketball?
Yep.
ACL.
See,
I
if
had,
I
I
never,
had all three, ACL, MCL, and whatever the other one is. They had a total, like, everything got replaced in there. Yeah.
if my nephew had stayed here, you might not have heard it playing basketball.
Well, that's true.
Because you wouldn't have got to
I wouldn't have been
play.
playing. I would have probably, wore my rotator cuff out from cheering with the towel. That'd been a whole nother set of problems.
That's pretty funny.
Okay.
I have lots of cats.
Well, that one's been beat up for a couple of years. It's almost time for a new one.
Maybe I could loan you a better one.
That one's beautiful.
Okay.
It's got a barbed wire tear in the back of it.
Got it.
The dog ripped the liner out of it. What's funny is Connie's dog.
Speaking of dogs, I had my first dog trial
Oh,
on
my.
Thursday.
Oh, you do?
Ooh,
Pit bulls.
big bull.
Yeah, I went to Connie to get my head shaved one day. Her little dog beat the heck out of my cat. She looked in
Whoa,
there.
whoa. You pay someone for that haircut?
Beautiful. And every now and then I do.
I was going, that's what I was looking at, like, what?
Can't see the back of his head.
Every once in a while, I let it get carried away. And I
Is
get
it gonna grow a
tired.
little ponytail
Yeah,
back?
that's what you
right
need,
in?
pony.
You think I ought to go grow that rat tail out the
I do.
back?
Right tail.
Yeah.
I'd just put a little spot back there, I wouldn't grow it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just a little
bump,
patch.
Yeah,
don't encourage.
soul patch.
Put your little smiley face.
Get two eyes up here, nose, and mouth. But that dog grabbed a hold of the liner of that thing and ripped it.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, how are you?
They're asking for. It's a pretty good one. So they're asking for one, they're asking for medical bills, and they're asking for dogs. So. How are you?
Fantastic, Judge. Yourself?
I'm good.
Well, I figure while we have a break,
Please, come on
come up
out.
and say hello.
Yeah, Win Graham.
Yeah, Ted McDavitt, Logan Power.
Oh, yeah. Oh, y'all were here.
We were. Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes being quiet is a good thing.
Yeah.
Ted, pleasure.
So,
Sir.
Good, sir.
okay, well, I'm glad you are here, because this really didn't necessarily have anything considering, the amendment of the agreement, but I sent the red lines of what our attorney, gave us, and I presented to Commissioner's Court a while ago. Have y'all had a chance to go over them, or?
If Andrew did, we didn't talk about it.
Okay,
So
well,
so I
he
apologize.
has them, and he and I, we went through it, and I went through kind of every section that changed to give him kind of our thoughts on why it changed.
Okay.
And basically, the concept that we proposed to him is y'all make a good faith payment in January, is that we count that as number one.
Yep.
And so basically saying that the tax abatement started with that payment right there. And so kind of back to the original timeline.
That's right.
And then we don't really make any material changes outside of that. And with the hope, knock on wood, that you guys will be completed by fourth quarter of 2025
That's what we're looking at.
to first quarter of 2026, and then we just kind of move on right there. So that's what was, he and I had been pitching back and forth, and Bob Bass worked up, so.
Well, yeah, and we felt that, allowed us to hold up our end of the bargain, even though we missed some other.
Yeah.
things. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys would have me.
So what all have y'all, so I know in talking to Andrew, you've got all the cement bases for the electricity towers coming to the plant. So the towers haven't been built, but you've got the bases.
That's correct, the foundations were poured.
And then the water pipelines getting close.
That's correct, yep.
And then what about on your site? Are y'all past doing dirt work, or y'all
Yes.
actually, have y'all poured concrete and?
We're past doing the dirt work, and we actually had to do a lot of soil stabilization up there. It was just a high plasticity index clay, so clay that had a lot of shrink swell capacity.
Yeah.
And so we went ahead and treated that. And so that has been done. That was actually a lot larger amount than we anticipated. And then we started putting in a lot of the retention ponds, and we also have some of the duct banks already run. So where the electric conduit will go, we've installed it where the concrete will go.
Okay.
Where we're at today is we're working through our value engineering process, which is
Yeah. Cutting costs.
trying to optimize the facility as
I
best as we
love
can.
the term, value engineering.
Value engineering, yeah, that's really what it
Yeah.
comes down to, is it's like, that was probably a little bit more than what we anticipated. So what we're doing now is taking a look at the footprint. Obviously, every linear foot of pipe, every linear foot of conduit, every linear foot of cable costs money. And so if you can consolidate the site a little bit, that's helpful. We have a lot of what's called vacuum injected pipe out there. So when you get that liquid super cool, you've got this very special piping that's very expensive to install. So we're trying to minimize the amount of that as much as we can. So those are the kind of things we're doing evaluating. You know, do we really need, you know, this, that, or the other? Can we do something different? And so, as we talked, right, we won't ever compromise safety or reliability. It's just along the lines of, do we need, you know, 2, you know, warehouses out there? Can we consolidate them? One of them there, 40 more guys.
Yeah.
So we're getting towards the end of that now.
And once y'all do that, then you start actually.
Then we're back out, yeah. And so we're looking to make the decision as to when we restart, because there's other issues associated with it. There's the Department of Energy's funding with that credit facility that we're working towards. So whether or not we're going to leverage that to the extent that we want, or if we're going to what we call balance sheet, right? So if we come out of our own pocket to you know, fund a certain portion, that's the decision we've got to make by the end of this process. So one way or another, we know which way we're going to go. It's just how we're going to essentially fund it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of technological challenges that you work through, and then of course you add in just a slight layer of commercial, and that gets to be
Yeah.
But you know, we're super excited about it. It's the biggest one in our portfolio.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have one up in New York, but that one has a few more challenges associated with it. We're doing a multi-party arrangement up there. So we've got a local municipality, we've got a local tribe, we have a power sharing entity, like all sorts of fun things. And so it's really kind of interesting to try and build a consensus amongst all of these different groups. So that one may wind up being bigger, but that one's probably behind the schedule by a fair amount. So
I heard that BMW was going to a hydrogen-powered car. You heard anything else from any other?
So a lot of the manufacturers are looking at hydrogen-powered vehicles. We're excited about it. To be very candid, are we live still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I will say that I think that the supply will be tight, specifically for low carbon intensity hydrogen for a fair period of time. But as we continue to build out our network and others continue to build out theirs, because we're not the only ones doing this, I think you'll see more adoption, more use cases for it. California has a significant amount of hydrogen vehicles. I think at the last count that they had about 8,000 vehicles running around there. They have about 50 filling stations. The challenge right now is to get low carbon intensity hydrogen, which is to say you're making green hydrogen or blue hydrogen or some sort of, you know, environmentally friendly hydrogen.
You have to have a filling station. Does that have to be manned by a filler, or can it be just somebody plugging in and go?
Literally just a dispenser.
Really?
Just no different than when you go to a gas station.
Hydrogen makes way more sense than like.
Exactly. Yeah. I get it.
It does, but I still wonder about the depletion of liquid water. I mean, you're taking your water source, you're destroying it to make hydrogen. It does put off some water as exhaust, but it's not replenishing the amount of that you took out of the environment.
So I'm fortunately, they don't let me look at the important stuff, right? I'm not a scientist, but I do understand that the losses associated with consumption are relatively low. The conversion factor of going from hydrogen back to a water vapor is a fair amount. So you're not losing a tremendous amount of water. What happens is it gets displaced, right? So if I take it out here, it gets displaced across the county, it gets displaced across the region and state, then it may not be local back into the aquifer, but it will get back into it. It's just
you're molecularly destroying that H2O and making just H of it.
And that's the what that loss is something that I'm unsure of. So we have folks that actually know this one. But I don't think it's as bad as one would be led to believe. In other words, you're not destroying 100% of that molecule. You're not destroying 50%. You're destroying 6% or 7% that's being consumed through this process. And so the losses aren't as significant.
I would be
Don't get me,
curious
don't
on what your
get me, don't get me,
the
don't get me lying to you
loss
about it, but
really is.
let me see if I can talk to the folks from like, Enron, the national.
We did not approve.
I mean, how many gallons would it take to make that hydrogen? So how many gallons would actually reoccur in the atmosphere from that?
Right, so essentially what's your loss, right?
Yeah,
What's your consumption loss?
Overall gallons per gallon loss.
Let me find out. Interestingly enough, the amount of gallons that actually go into the pure hydrogen stream are very, very low. The consumption that we have out of the facility is primarily cooling. It's a cooling load, and then what happens is they also have to, for every, gallon of pure water, once it's pure, it's straight
September,
H2O,
one's October.
everything else.
Yeah.
That takes care of.
Where's your
water
tiara?
to get to there. It's like 15, 20 gallons because you.
I don't like to get it out.
To that gallon.
Pineapple shaped tiara.
And so what happens
Yeah,
is
those
we
are
take the
cool.
reject
Yeah.
water, and we put it back out into a settling pond, and then ultimately gets discharged, but you take the.
And I signed your
and actually
AP.
dispose of that as waste. So you get your RO water, your discharge water,
signed-
and it goes out to a pond.
I signed it, but Kyle needs to, if you would.
We ought to be making bottled water out of that.
We should.
He's, I don't know, he was.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for coming.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully everyone will be on the same page in early May when we have that next hearing to do your amended abatement. I know we've got a lot of people excited about the truck driving jobs and.
Well, and you'll hear the stories about, I think that we have publicly announced for this facility about
Just the
50
front page,
full-time
I'll
employees,
do all
which is to include operators, plant managers, the drivers. So there's, a good amount of employment that goes along with the investment.
HR has
Get
to
us
stop.
four hydrogen trucks.
No. Hey, you know what? Part of our agreement
Accounts
is you
payable,
do not
is it
interview this
whatever?
woman right here.
You know,
No way, shape, or form.
it's funny, the city says the same thing. They were excited until they realized that,
I said HR, and you went, no.
that's the hydrogen trucks, best ones out there today are Nicholas trucks.
Well, you need to get us four of them so the county can use them for a year or two and see how they hold
I'll
up.
see what I can do. Low likelihood of that happening.
Yes.
but I'll see what I can do. I'll
We
make the
fix
effort.
up with office
I
work.
mean, at least you can say, hey, this county's on board all the way if
That's
you
it.
donate them trucks.
Full adoption.
Yeah.
Full adoption.
Thank you, man. This is the tax abatement guidelines that we just approved.
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Just having to wait. That presented the Eastland.
We missed the eclipse, we're really gonna be mad.
I've got to be at school for the eclipse here in a little bit.
We can put it all on.
You doing school?
They're having an eclipse watching event from 12:30 to 3:30.
Eclipse watching party.
And then my older daughter's
It'll take about 5 minutes.
trying to calm me out of my pair of eclipse glasses I had because she didn't get a pair.
Practice line bars and welding goggles.
You turkey sign that for me?
Well, my husband has a day off because of the eclipse, because they contract, TxDOT won't let them on the road.
Okay,
So he's going to Weeks to play golf.
I had more than one person in the courthouse call me and ask if we were closing the courthouse due to
Why?
the
You
eclipse.
should have said, we'll give them 4 hours, 4 minutes off.
My response was, I'm embarrassed that you're calling.
Well, this company didn't want off.
Yeah.
This should have been a 40-year holiday or
We can all go outside, enjoy the clips, and then
We're right back to work.
still have a day of work. Did you close your office for the eclipse?
I'll probably go to the deal to watch, Claire Meshkin, I don't know how many of you know her, but she worked at NASA, and so this is like the Super Bowl for her.
Oh.
They got the glasses and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff, so I'll take a little lunch break to go.
What's the primo time?
1:35-ish, I
Yeah,
think.
140-ish, yes.
Well, I had to get the T-shirt for my kid and all that. I didn't get one for me though.
Well, I didn't.
Depending on what size, although I'm supposed to go change into it before I go in. No promises.
She didn't want to get up for school this morning up until the point I said, you gotta wear your clip shirt. Oh, I forgot about that. Then she's ready to go.
And it's pretty insane what's happening across some other parts of the state. Insanity going on over the equipment.
The extension actor, they have glasses out there, so Eclipse glasses for the kids for 4-H. We'll probably have a stack of them in the extension office from here to the end of town.
One of the girls in my office actually had a whole bunch of them handing out this morning, so.
Well, I'm just waiting for my guys to lose a welding hood, put those on and go try to tack something on real quick.
We'll probably do that till we get bid.
Well, say you gotta have shade 12.
Yeah.
Y'all take a picture of
Yes.
What's the,
Unless they're adjustable.
Gracky in there?
No, I got a welding hood I can adjust.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Right.
See, all right.
It's off the job injury here, guy. Fall down the stairs now on your crutches and.
Yeah.
I did get to ride,
Put us into jeopardy.
first time I've ever been in the Young County elevator. It had a little smell in there. Little musty.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's from where it
Where
caught
the
water
dress-
that
it
time.
is,
It's,
And it's,
We were flooding back in 1978.
no.
But it was
this
my first
just-
time to get in it.
This was just a couple of years ago.
Oh.
They had the drain was stopped up, and we had that big rain. And it
Yeah,
came
it's
off
gonna be
the
accepting a
elevator.
safety award on crutches.
I'm here to accept this.
Yeah. Here to accept the safety award. Don't manage that. We gotta put your arm in the sling.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Marcia for all those electric cords she has on the stairs. Yeah, I caught one of her cords and,
Don't blemish my name.
Using
Got a
it to
good
run
record going.
dehumidifiers to get rid of black mold.
And all
You know,
office
that and all
equipment
the- you
stuffed
know,
in the hot basement.
if it wasn't for my asbestos damage from working in this courthouse, I'd be in pretty good shape.
Can I stop the recording?
Yeah, we
Oh,
can
no,
stop it.
come on, it's good today, the public might enjoy it.
When we do our photo, you need to have your crutches like this.
Yeah.
No, he'll fall down then.